So, Trump's back in office and he's already doing what he does best, starting chaos. On April 2nd, 2025, he slapped a blanket 10% tariff on everything the United States imports, and then added even bigger tariffs on specific countries, including America's closest allies. Yeah, not China, not Russia, allies, countries like Japan, South Korea, the United Kingdom, Germany, even Vietnam and Taiwan. It's basically Trump saying America first, screw everyone else. But here's the funny part. This doesn't hurt China, it helps China, because now everyone the United States just pissed off, they're going to turn to Beijing, and China is just sitting there watching America burn its relationships to the ground and waiting to take over. Please take a moment to drop a like and subscribe. On April 2nd, Trump launched what he called Liberation Day, a supposed plan to restore America's economic strength. But in reality, it was a tantrum dressed up as policy, a universal 10% tariff on all imports, plus higher penalties targeting specific countries. European Union, 20%, Japan, 24%, South Korea, 25%, India, 26%, Vietnam, 46%, Taiwan, 32%, Switzerland, 31%, United Kingdom, 10%. This wasn't aimed at just China, it was aimed at everyone. Allies, partners, fellow democracies. It sent one clear message to the world: you can't trust the United States, not now, not ever. The European Union has been walking on eggshells with America for years, tolerating sanctions, economic bullying and strategic disrespect. But this time, the United States didn't just cross a line, it bulldozed over it. A 20% tariff on EU goods means German cars, French wines, Italian machinery, all facing a massive hit. European leaders responded with outrage, but more importantly, they responded with strategy. They're already accelerating economic cooperation with China, because Beijing offers what Washington can't: consistency, contracts and long-term planning. While America swings wildly between administrations, China moves with quiet precision. The EU knows it needs a partner it can count on. That partner is no longer America, it's China. Japan and South Korea got slapped with 24% and 25% tariffs. These are two of America's most loyal allies, militarily, technologically, economically, and yet Trump punished them like enemies. This was a humiliation, and it won't be forgotten. The United Kingdom, once the US's closest partner, got hit with a 10% tariff. It wasn't the worst, but it was enough to expose a deeper truth. The special relationship is dead. The UK is struggling post-Brexit. It needs trade deals, it needs partners, and now the US just became unreliable. China sees the vacuum. Financial cooperation between London and Shanghai will grow. British firms will increasingly seek Chinese capital, Chinese consumers and Chinese tech. And Beijing? All it has to do is extend a hand because Trump just slammed the door. Australia got hit with 10%. India got 26%. Both countries have tried to align with the US in recent years, trying to counter China's rise. But what did they get for it? Tariffs? Disrespect? Abandonment? India will now double down on BRICS, strengthen ties with Russia and hedge closer to China economically, whether New Delhi admits it publicly or not. Australia, dependent on Chinese commodity demand, will quietly deepen that relationship, even if its politicians complain on TV. The message is clear: the US isn't a friend. It's a volatile partner at best and a liability at worst. Vietnam and Taiwan were supposed to be America's alternatives to China, the places where supply chains were supposed to move, the countries Washington promised to support. And yet, Vietnam got slammed with 46%, Taiwan with 32%. This is hypocrisy at its finest. The US begged companies to decouple from China, then punished the very countries who stepped in. China won't even need to try here. Taiwanese firms will keep doing business with the mainland. Vietnam will sign more deals with Chinese infrastructure banks, tech firms and logistics giants. The US pushed them away. China simply needs to open the door. While the US imposes tariffs, lashes out and burns bridges, China is presenting itself as calm, measured and reliable. China doesn't need to scream or threaten. It doesn't need to make impulsive decisions every 4 years. Beijing moves with strategy. It builds partnerships that last decades, not months. In this chaos, China looks like the only adult in the room, the only superpower that can actually lead. And in a world tired of American unpredictability, that matters. Beijing will now market itself as the global stabilizer, the anchor of globalization, the engine of growth, the partner you can count on, but they won't stop there. China will use this opportunity to expand the Belt and Road Initiative into new regions. It will strengthen UN-based trade blocs. It will hold summits, propose new institutions, and invite more nations to its vision of a multipolar, US-free global system. And it will work, because now the rest of the world is desperate for a power that doesn't change direction every election cycle, a power that actually delivers. This tariff chaos is already accelerating China's influence across the global south. BRICS plus nations like Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Turkey are deepening financial and technological ties with China. ASEAN nations, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand are aligning more with China in regional trade and investment. And the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are already trading oil in yuan. Now they'll deepen that path, with China building ports, rail lines and digital infrastructure across the region. This isn't just about money, it's about security, influence and independence from US chaos. The more the US weaponizes trade, the more the world wants out of the dollar. China already has its alternatives: the cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, digital UN platforms, BRICS currency proposals, and UN-settled energy deals. Trump's tariffs are pushing countries to say, if we keep using the dollar, we stay vulnerable. China didn't need to destroy the dollar. America is doing it for them. This was the turning point. April 2nd, 2025, America didn't just slap tariffs on the world, it slapped itself in the face and handed global leadership to China. China didn't need to start a war, didn't need to crush the West, it just needed to wait for America to self-destruct. And that's exactly what happened. The world is choosing sides, not out of fear, but out of logic. America is unstable, emotional, erratic. China is calm, focused and strategic. In the next few years, you'll see more trade conducted in UN, more diplomatic summits hosted in Beijing, more global South nations building infrastructure with Chinese financing, more companies choosing Chinese markets over American ones. This is China's moment, and Trump, ironically, just made sure of it. If you thought the trade war was over, think again. This isn't a trade war anymore. This is a global realignment. And China, it's winning without lifting a finger. Like, comment and subscribe if you want to understand the real power moves reshaping the world, because this isn't about politics anymore. This is about the fall of American leadership and the rise of something far more organized, disciplined and permanent. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe for more content.